Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lexi and today we're doing another pick a card. Today's pick a card is a collaboration with my favorite person on YouTube, Tarot with Tay. So on my side of the collaboration, I'm going to be taking a look at your feline magnetism that draws people in, and on Tay's side, she's going to be taking a look at how you're unknowingly alluring. As I always say whenever I do a collaboration with Tay, she's one of my favorite people. If you haven't subscribed yet, please go and do it. I'll have the link to her video in the description box, and just be sure to send love over there. Yeah, so shout out to Tay. So I have 4 objects for you guys to choose from. Pile number 1 is the white cat. Pile number 2 is the cheetah water spray. Pile number 3 is the black cat, and pile number 4 is the Hello Kitty clip. So see which object you are drawn to. The timestamps are going to be in the description box, as well as the link to Tay's video. And yeah, I will see you guys at your timestamps. Hey Pawan, welcome to your reading. So we are taking a look at your feline magnetism that draws people in. So you guys chose the white cat. I'm going to start with tarot and then we'll move on to your oracle cards. So let's get in. So pile number 1, please, spirit guides, tap me into the collective of my pile number 1s. Pile number 1's feline magnetism that draws people in. What draws people into my pile number 1s, please? What do people get drawn in by my pile number 1s? What makes my pile number 1s magnetizing? We have the Page of Pentacles. What makes my pile number 1s? We have the 6 of Cups. The 4 of Cups even. I don't know why I said 6 of Cups. What is so magnetizing about my pile number 1s, please? My pile number 1's feline 6 of Pentacles. Ooh, what have we got? We also have the 9 of Swords. Okay, back of the deck, we have the Ace of Swords, which I'm going to put by here. One thing that I will say about you guys is I feel like you guys are really unique. Because I keep feeling like I'm looking at someone that isn't afraid to, like, be a little bit silly or do something different. Like, I'm being shown somebody walking down the street, and it's almost like, because I'm thinking of, like, you know how people from an early age get judged and then they kind of like judge others, but there's a fair few who will literally just be themselves, wear what they want, say what they want, and kind of just do their own thing and go a little bit rogue. And I really do feel like that is a lot of you guys' essence. I feel like you guys follow, like, you dance to the beat of your own drum is what I'm trying to say, because I keep thinking of that speech by the Joker where he's like, their moral code or something like that, it's like a bad joke, and he's like, if these civilized people, if they had the chance, they'd eat each other, sort of thing. Like, he says that speech, and it's making me think of that, because I feel like you're just somebody that does your own thing, and moves in your own way. And I almost feel like you're somebody that thinks outside of the box, because I keep being shown people like looking at you, and it's almost like I feel stuck in life, or I feel stuck where I am, or I kind of just feel like I lack inspiration. Like, I just kind of feel a little bit void, whereas I feel like I'm turning to you and I'm looking at you, and it's like I'm being shown like a really colorful aura. I'm being shown like a rainbow aura, and I kind of feel inspired by you, and I feel like you're making me think, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like you're making me think like outside of the box, so you're bringing kind of color into my awareness. That's one thing that I think, you know, people get really drawn to you about. I feel like you live by your own set of rules. It's like reminding me of like a cat, and how like you can't force a cat to do anything. Like a dog, you can kind of train them to get them to do things, but with cats, like, they just move about, they do their own thing. Like, if you have cats, if you've ever tried to catch them to bring them into the house and they don't want to come in, that's a fun chase, you know what I mean? It's really hard to get cats to do what you want them to do, and I feel like you kind of have that essence, kind of like a wild cat, like a wild card. But I don't even think that you're like the most craziest person ever. I just think that you guys just, when everyone's going right, you go left. I feel like you guys are very, you may be quite spontaneous, but it could just be the, like, I feel like you, because I'm looking at you and I feel like you're able to see like a vision where other people wouldn't. It's making me think of that Mamma Mia scene where she sings I Have a Dream, the second Mamma Mia, where she kind of goes through the old barn, and you know, it's been run down and no one knows what to do with it, and she has that idea for that barn where she wants to like create it into a hotel, and she has that dream, right? She wants to create something out of it. And that's what I'm being shown with you guys. It's like where things are lost with other people, I feel like you're able to find beauty, and I think that because of that, I feel like you're able to morph and bend and shape into who it is like that you're growing into. And what I mean by that is, a lot of people will decide, I'm this type of person, I'm that type of person, and put themselves in a box, whereas I feel like you guys are the type to allow yourself that room to grow. Like, you know that like a tree does not grow straight, it grows crooked, it goes right and left. And I feel like you guys give yourself space to fall down. I feel like you guys give yourself space for humility. I feel like you don't just stick to a set of rules and keep your head down like that. I feel like you guys kind of do your own thing, listen to your own rhythm, listen to your own drum, dance to the beat of your own drum. I feel like you guys are the type to do that, and I feel like it works for you as well, because I keep feeling like I'm being shown someone and it's like, okay, I need to make X amount of money and I need to have this car and this home, because that's the only way I'm going to be happy. That's the only way people are going to like look up to me. That's the only way that I'm going to feel confident, right? So all of their life, they're like denying themselves pleasures and denying, you know, themselves doing things that would make them happy, because it's like, I've got to have that home, that car, that this, that. And I feel like you guys are the type to just kind of like follow wherever your heart's, you know, desires, even if it's like not what maybe society's telling you to do, but then you're constantly happy, right? You're allowing that, you know, you're allowing that flow to kind of take you to what it is that would kind of light your heart up. You're allowing that kind of like flow to kind of like morph you into who you're meant to be. And then I see like those people that would have put themselves in a box, I feel like I'm looking over to you and it's like, how are you happy? How are you happy? Like, you're still radiating that energy. You're happy with like all of these things, whereas I've hit every mark that I wanted to and I'm still kind of miserable. And I just feel like you have that aura, you have that light. I don't know if you guys like, I just very optimistic, or it could just be like, I feel like I'm looking at you and you're constantly happy, or whatever it is that you have, whatever stage of life that you're in. I just feel like you guys are constantly happy, whatever part of the process, whether you finished it or you've just begun it. I feel like you guys are happy and optimistic, and I feel like whenever there's a rain cloud, I feel like you're able to see the silver lining. That's what I'm being shown, because I feel like your happiness and your contentment really comes from within. And I feel like you don't allow like other people's like authority to kind of like take over you. It's making me think of like cats and how they you know, like there could be like a bigger animal or another animal around and they're just like not frightened. My cat Softy, who passed away a couple of years ago, she used to sit on the wall of my neighbor's garden and just goad this dog, and the dog would be back and back and back, and she would just be sitting there like lounging around, and my neighbor would be like, she winds my dog up all the time, and I'm like, I'm so sorry, but she would literally just like lean over and just like, I do what I want, you know. She was that type of cat. She used to sleep on people's cars in the street, like everyone knew her. She was the talk of the town. So I feel like you guys are that. I feel like you guys just kind of like do your own thing. I don't think you allow society to put you in boxes. I don't think you know, when everyone's running left, I feel like you go right. Like every time I say that, I'm thinking of trying to chase my cats to come inside in the garden. Like that's kind of like how I feel. I feel like you do your own thing, and I think you spark your own flame, you spark your own light. So in that way, no one can hold anything over you, because a lot of people become slaves to what it is that they've built or what persona that they have. They become slaves to their own masks, and I feel like you don't put the mask on, you don't box yourself in, so you're not a slave to it. So no one can really poke the bear and kind of like, you've done this, you've done that, because it's like, I feel like you just allow whatever needs to come out to flow. Like if you're having a bad day or you've fallen down, I feel like you embrace it. You're not someone to hide that and hide like a quote unquote imperfection. It's like, this is who I am, this is what happened, that is it, you know what I mean? And I think a lot of people do get inspired by you, because I'm being shown with the 9 of Swords, somebody kind of like feeling really stuck or just not being able to light their own match, and somebody just not being able to see their way out of something. And I feel like with the Ace of Swords at the back of the deck, I feel like you guys kind of like, I feel like I'm looking at you and you kind of hold a lot of wisdom. I feel like you guys activate people. I feel like you guys spark people's light, you know what I mean? And spark people's creativity a lot of the time too. Like I feel like I see you walking down the street and I feel like you're jump starting something for me. Like I like something that you've worn, and now it's like got me thinking like what type of outfits I could wear to be like that. Or just something you've said. Like you could be somebody that's like very witty and very like confident, and then it's like I'm going home and I feel like I'm questioning and I'm thinking in my head, how can I be like that? How can I be more confident? How can I do these things? I feel like it's bringing me back to myself. And yes, okay, sometimes that can trigger people. It can trigger insecurities. You might have had some projections onto you because of that. But I also think a lot of people maybe go back like behind closed doors and they're like, oh my god, I want to get my life together, sort of thing. Even if you don't feel like you have your life together, I feel like you just come across in that way. It's like I just feel like I keep you on a rainbow, and like such a like a beautiful like aura kind of like spinning around, and I feel like I'm really drawn to that. And I feel like just things that you do, whatever it is that you do for your career, if you make music, if you write poetry, it could just be social media, it could be anything. I feel like whatever it is that you do, it's very innovative and very unique to you. It's very clearly yours, that it's not something that can be imitated, even though people might try. And I think that it's just like that stamp. I feel like you stand out, you know what I mean? I think you're very creative, and anything that you put into your work, like whatever it is that you do with your work, I think that energy, that frequency that you put into it, I think that aura, it kind of like rubs off on it. And I don't know, I just feel like you guys, you might make something, or you might do something in the creative fields, or you may be on social media or anywhere where you can channel energy into it. That could be spirituality, that could be like writing books, writing movies and things like that. I just feel like you're able to take me on a kind of journey with it. So that's something that I feel people would be drawn to you for as well, if you guys work in the creative field. So like paintings, music, anything like that, I feel like you'd be able to like activate that spark and kind of inspire me as well. So let's take a look at your oracle card. Pile number 1, please, spirit guides. Pile number 1. Pile number 1's feline magnetism that draws people in. Oh, what have we got? We have Diana, Queen of the Wilderness. The language of the natural world is a frequency of love. This is my mother tongue. I know it's like Diana, Queen of the Wilderness, but I'm thinking of like Princess Diana and how in the royal family, like she did whatever she kind of like wanted. Like she really broke a lot of quote unquote royal protocols. Like they were very like prim and proper, and you had to do things a certain way, and she didn't do that. Like there was a lot of things that she broke the protocol for, and she was very for the people, and she made a lot of like, you know, a lot of movements there, and that's why she was really loved. It was her frequency, the way that she connected with people. She kind of was a little bit more rogue than the others, and I think that's part of you. And I think you come from a good place as well. You know, it's not you trying to be chaotic, or you just trying to be rebellious for no reason. It's just purely you. It's coming from, you know, your heart space. I feel like that's your compass, and I just feel like you just kind of follow your own rhythm. That's what I'm trying to say. On the back of the deck, you have Sarah Lakali, Queen of the Outsiders. I've arrived. I am where I will always be, in love. I love how it's Queen of the Outsiders. You might have been like maybe a lone wolf in school, or you may have just done things a little bit differently in school, or just growing up in your earlier years. Because I do feel like I'm naturally an outsider, but it's because I'm doing something a little bit different. Not that I'm just like on my own all the time. It's just I'm doing things a little bit different to the crowd. That's kind of how you come across, or how I feel, you know, that energy's taken me. But yeah, pile number 1, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm still a little bit like brain fog just from last week, so I hope this wasn't too choppy for you guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed your reading. Head over to Tay's if you haven't. The link is in my description box, and I hope you enjoy Tay's reading as well. And yeah, just thank you guys for watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. Hey pal 2, welcome to your reading. So you guys chose the cheetah water spray. I'm gonna start with tarot, and then we're gonna take a look at your oracle cards after that, and we're gonna be seeing what is your feline magnetism that draws people in. So pile number 2, please, spirit guides. Pile number 2. Pile number 2's feline magnetism that draws people in. What draws people into my pile number 2's? How are my pile number 2's magnetic? What draws people in to my pile number 2's? People can feel your depth before you show up. We have the 5 of Cups. Yeah, people can feel your depth before you show up. Some of you guys may have very like, I'm being told to say intense eyes or an intense demeanor. I'm thinking of like Scorpio rising, but I'm thinking of like Scorpio eyes too. This could also be like Cancer eyes, because I'm thinking of like the big doe eyes. I'm also thinking Capricorn as well, so Capricorn, sun, moon and rising, because I know those were Capricorn eyes. They have really beautiful eyes. But yeah, Capricorn rising maybe as well. But yeah, I feel like people feel you before you show up. That's the first thing that I'm being shown. Let me get the cards down and I'll let it flow. 2 of Pentacles, pile number 2, oh, we've got a lot of cups. 6 of Cups. I say a lot, it's literally 2, but there we go. 6 of Cups, and the back of the deck you have the 2 of Wands. I'm just gonna try and move this over a little bit so you can see the others. There we go. That should be okay. I hope it's not too on the slant. Okay, 5 of Cups, King of Pentacles, 2 of Pentacles, and the 6 of Cups. Yeah, like I said, I feel like you guys, people feel you before you show up. I feel like you guys may be people that don't speak too much. Like, and what I mean by that is I just feel like you guys may be a little bit more reserved, literally like a cat, to be honest with you. I feel like out of all the piles, I feel like you may show up kind of like, do you know, like black cat energy? I feel like you may give that a little bit more than the other piles, because I just feel like you guys are a lot more reserved, and it's almost like I'll come to you, or I'll open up when I'm ready, not when you tell me to, and I'll speak when I'm ready, not when you tell me to, or I'll speak when I have something to say, because I just keep being shown, I feel like your energy is very sacred and you know it. I think that you guys take on a lot of people's energy too. I think that you take on a lot of, you know, other people's energy. I feel like you guys may be clairsentience, you may be able to feel other people's emotions. I feel like you guys, people that may get a lot of downloads, a lot of, you know, messages from spirit a lot. So I feel like you guys know where and when to place your energy, when to open up and when not to, because I keep being shown like I'm opening up and I'm being shown a waterfall, and I'm being told like a sacred waterfall, so it's like my water is kind of flowing out, so it's like that's really sacred if you're gonna have, you know, some of that water. That's really sacred if you're gonna have me kind of like tap into you, because I feel like even with you guys, the slightest interaction can drain you sometimes, or the slightest interaction, like you can really be taken out of your energy. I think that you guys have had to learn to really ground yourself and root yourself, because I see you guys in a very, it's interesting, you're in a very like earthy, at least where I'm tapping into now. This could not have been the case your whole life. This is just where I'm tapping in now, where I feel like I'm in a very earthy frequency, where I feel like I want to speak a little slower, and I feel like I'm really grounding in. And I tend to find whenever I tap into people with a lot of earth placements, or it doesn't even have to just be earth placements, it could just be people that are very rooted and connected to their lower chakras, I tend to find I'll start to speak a little bit slower, or the energy and the messages that come through, they may just start to come in slower, because the slower we speak and the more rooted we are and the more we take our time, that's more root chakra energy. So I'm being shown that for you guys, but then I feel like even behind that, because I'm being shown like a boulder, it's like even behind that I can feel the frequency within. I know that you possess like a lot. Like I feel like you guys take on a lot. I feel like you guys channel a lot. You may work in the spiritual professions and may have that grounded kind of protection, you know, energy like on lock, because I just feel like I take on a lot. Like I'm just going into a store, I'm heading anywhere, and I take on a lot of people's frequencies. I pick up a lot of people's emotions, and I feel like I can also give a lot of my energy without even realizing it sometimes, because I just have a lot to give and I really do pour into people. So I feel like you're somebody that has maybe like a close-knit circle or just a small group of friends. You may even be somebody that doesn't post so much on social media, that feels there's more of like a mystery about you. I feel like there's yeah, I feel like there's somewhat of a mystery about you, where it's like, where is that person? Or they don't really say a lot. It could be that you post a lot, but it's like you might not say a lot. You might not put a lot in the captions. Or when you do post, it's like you may post far in between, but when you do, you like drop knowledge bombs, and you know, post a lot of, you know, it could be poet. I don't mind being shown poetry. It could be poetry. It could be words of wisdom. It could be just like what's on your mind in that moment. It could be like educating certain things, because I'm being shown somebody on Facebook posting like images, like artistic images, and then writing pieces underneath. But yeah, I feel like you guys, I don't know, I feel like I'm far in between, but when I say something I mean it. It's making me think of Harry Potter, when Harry tries to get the lost diadem, and he finds Ravenclaw to ask the Ravenclaw lady to ask where it is, and instead of just outright saying where it was, she talks to him in a riddle, like, if you know, you need only ask, but if you ask, you need only know, or something like that. And it's like, why don't you just tell him, like, where did that riddle come from? But I feel like you may speak like that, or you may just say, like, and this is to other people, this isn't to your close-knit family, like, and close-knit circle. I feel like whoever comes into your circle, you treat them like family. I think that's why you're very cautious where your energy goes. But I feel like on the outskirts, like the outskirts of your energy, I feel like you may not say a lot, or you may just like speak a little bit in like in tongue, or like just not give so much away, you know what I mean? And I feel like that really draws people in. You know, it's making me think of like that cat in the neighborhood that just kind of like lounges about, but then when you go up to it, it runs away. Like, my energy isn't for you. Why are you coming up to me? Why are you trying to stroke me for? Like, go away. I didn't consent to this. But then one day it just decides to like run up to you and give you cuddles, because it's like, well, I've decided I wanted to give you a cuddle today. Like, you kind of give me that vibe, you know what I mean? It's like on my terms, I'm grounded and rooted in, I have a lot to give. And also, I just feel as well, you guys are naturally very healing to other people. So I think people feel your healing frequency, people feel your aura. Now, sometimes that might unsettle people in the sense of like, people might get triggered, because when we have a healing aura and we possess that, you know, ability, people, you know, they want to hide their demons and lock them away. Some people don't want it opened, and a lot of the times when we have a healing frequency like that, people's demons just come to the surface, they get triggered, right? So you might have dealt with people that project and poke and not like that, or maybe just take, because I see sometimes people might take your silence or your I'm not going to open up to you right now as like offense to themselves, like, oh, that person wasn't, you know, why wasn't that person giving me their energy, why wasn't that person talking to me? It's making me think of Tyler, which is funny because she has I'm sure she has like a cheetah thing going on. Tyler, the singer, the one that sings Water, I'm sure she has like a cheetah or something like going on, like a cat type of like theme going. I'm sure she does, because I know Victoria Monet has Jaguar, but this is, I know Tyler had like her name, and then there was like, I'm sure it was a cheetah print. But I've seen like a lot of people on Twitter, because I just like a ghost, I'm like a phantom on Twitter. I don't post anything at the moment, but I just scroll and look at everything, and people were talking about Tyler, and she did nothing wrong at all. I think she said that like an award was too heavy for her, so she asked someone to like hold it, and everyone was just like speaking about her and saying she's very like uppity and like very like she's like arrogant, or she's like up herself and she loves herself and stuff like that. And I was just thinking, like, because I've watched a lot of like interviews, I think she's like really pretty, and I love her makeup and stuff, and I was like, she's never given me that vibe. She just feels like she's a little bit more reserved, and she just knows her own energy and her own limits. But it's funny how people will create an image that don't know her and just like project onto her. I thought that was really interesting. And yeah, I feel like sometimes that might happen to you sometimes, where you're just minding your business and somebody's like, oh, I feel like that may happen. But at the same time, I feel like you do have that healing frequency where people are just genuinely drawn to you and also feel safe, you know, with you, and just can feel that frequency as well. And I feel like for those of you that are in relationships or have been in relationship, I feel like those people that you've loved, that have been in your circle, to be honest with you, I think a lot of you guys, in terms of relationships, especially for those of you that haven't got a partner right now, I think you're going to be the type in life, and this is just coming through, that you're going to have very far in between connections, but they're going to be really long term. You're going to be the type to like meet someone and then just be with them for the rest of your life, or have like decade long relationships instead of like 5 to 6 lots of mini back-to-back relationships. I think like, because your energy is very sacred, it's like, I need something sacred back, and I think they're going to be far in between. And those of you that are in a relationship, I feel like those are people that like you've loved, I feel like you really leave a mark on them, because I feel like you really tap into them really deeply. You have a really beautiful healing frequency, and I do see that you guys are quite sensitive, but I don't know why. I feel like to the outside world, they might not see it. Whether that's something you choose, or whether that's, you know, just how it is. But I just kind of feel like you come across a little bit more reserved. I was being shown a Capricorn Ascendant, you know, straight away. Like, I felt like, and Scorpio as well. Capricorn, Scorpio, I'm picking up, and Cancer. Just those 3 signs coming up a lot for you guys. But I feel like I have this kind of like reserved demeanor. I feel like I have a bit of a poker face. I'm not going to give you, I feel like people might even try to bait you sometimes and you just don't give them a reaction, to be honest. 100%, because you're able to contain your own energy and hold space for your own energy. Anything else, please, spirit guides? Anything else? You literally remind me of the epitome of a cat, honestly. Like, they're just temperamental, they do their own thing. I'll come to you, don't try and get in my face. Like, you just kind of give off that, but it's that mystery, you know, when you see a cat go outside, it's like, where do they go? Literally, where do they go? I feel like you have that vibe to you, you know. But yeah, I'm hearing like a air of secrecy. It's making me think, I remember pulling up a lot of the royal family's natal charts when I was learning astrology and stuff, and I noticed that a lot of them had what did they have? I'm sure they had Leo midheaven, or like Leo 10th house, but then they had like Scorpio like ascendant, so there was like that air of mystery around them. Like, we don't really know a lot about you, but there's that Leo 10th house. I don't know, you may have the same placements because I was being John Scorpio, but yeah, I just like, there's an air of royalty, but it's like secrecy at the same time. It's making me think of that when I was looking at the royal family's charts. And not all of them, but I know a lot of them had that. Okay, pile number 2, please. Pile number 2 is feline magnetism. That, oh goodness, that draws people in. Pile number 2 is feline magnetism. We have the white buffalo calf woman. My heart is a compass, the path of love is true abundance. You know what it is? I feel like you guys are naturally very sensitive, and I think that you guys naturally are like susceptible to others, and I think that you guys really do see the light in people. I think what you've had to do is really build a shell to really protect that, you know, that sensitive side and that vulnerable side, because you have such a deep, beautiful heart. And I feel like when we think of anything in the wild and anything in nature that is sensitive, they usually either have thorns to protect them or they have shells to protect them. And I feel like you are the epitome of that, like the rose with a thorn, or the you know, the crab with a shell. Like, I feel like you guys are that, you know what I mean? To kind of keep a level of like stay back sometimes, but I think that draws people in more. I feel like I want to know what you're up to. I feel really drawn to you, that because I feel like there's a frequency where I can just tell there's like a level of purity here as well, you know. In the back of the deck you have, oh, I hope I say this correctly, Amaterasu. I hope I say that correct. We are all sacred mirrors reflecting back the same light. I would say you guys are empaths with that mirror energy. Because some of you guys may find as well, you don't even have to say anything, but people may show that ugly, and it's like, I didn't even say anything and you're just popping that out. Why did you people might reveal themselves to you a lot without you saying it, because I see like a silence, or I see you not giving much back, and then people revealing like their frustrations or their motives even. Because I'm thinking of like a jaguar in the jungle and stuff, where it's like I'm sitting back and I'm kind of waiting for my prey to strike. I'm kind of getting that vibes from you. Not from you guys in a negative way, like, yeah, I'm waiting for my prey. It's more like, I'm watching, I'm observing. We'll see if I want to open up or not. And I see like people fess up on themselves quite easy on. Yeah, quite early on. Because you might be the type as well in relationships and situations to like, you might not be the type like, these are my rules, go with these rules. It's like, no, I'm going to sit back and see what you'd rather do. And then we'll see if I'll actually open up to you. I'm going to sit back and see what you'd rather do. I'm not going to tell you what I like in a relationship. I'm not going to tell you what I want or whatever. I'm literally just going to see. Because there may be even sometimes as well with you guys, like, if people can see that purity, they might mistake it for naivety. And they might think you're not aware, and you are. And I think they might show that hand. And I feel like that's happened a few times as well. I feel like you've learned enough to have a nice shell that, to, you know, keep your energy protected. Yeah, so that is what I have for you, pile number 2. I really hope that you enjoyed your reading. Hit the thumbs up and comment down below if you did. I'm sending you guys all of my love. I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching. And hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching. Hey Pal 3, welcome to your reading. So we are taking a look at your feline magnetism that draws people in. So I'm going to start with tarot and then we're going to move on to your oracle card. So let's get in. So pile number 3, please spirit guides, pile number 3. Pile number 3 is feline magnetism that draws people in. We have the King of Pentacles. Pile number 3 is feline magnetism, Ace of Cups. Pile number 3 is feline magnetism, Two of Pentacles. Pile number 3 is feline magnetism that draws people in, and we have the Nine of Wands. Okay, back of the deck is the Moon. Okay, King of Pentacles, Ace of Cups, the Two of Pentacles, and the Nine of Wands. You guys are very ambitious, I feel. And I feel like whenever I'm being shown people's inner world, right, I get shown like their heart space, their emotions, all of that. So it's like their inner world. And then I always look at the throat like a bridge, right? Because whether we get child messages from our higher chakras, or we get feelings from within our own body, we want to communicate something from within our own body. To communicate that to another person, we use our throat chakra. We speak it out, right? Or even if we're putting it into music or whatever, we sing it out. But the throat chakra is our bridge, and I feel like that's very open with you guys, where it's very fluid in the sense that I feel like you guys have no problem showing, if you hear noises, it's raining outside. I feel like you guys have no problem showing your emotions, how you're feeling. If you're irritated, if you're sad, if you're angry, whatever, I feel like you have no problem showing that, to be honest with you. I feel like you guys, there's like a lot of fire within you where I just feel like you guys are very ambitious, very like, because I feel like this go-getter energy where it's like, this is what I want to do, so I'm gonna do it. I keep being shown somebody like, I'm being shown like dolphins like jumping over the waves. You know how they jump in their little pods of dolphins? I'm being shown something like that. Like I feel like I'm rushing towards like a goal, or I've got my head down with a goal. Like I feel like if I want to do something, I'm going to do it. If I want to say something, I'm going to say it. Like this is how I feel. And it's almost like I've arrived sort of energy, but you don't have to say it. That's just your frequency. I feel like you're somebody where it's like when you walk into a room, people are aware, like people know about it, like, and it's interesting because I feel like you guys are the type of people where if somebody was to poke at you or like try and use a weakness over you, I feel like you'd use that as like a strength. Like you're like, yeah, I do this and what, or like I feel like if somebody was to mention something to you, or they'd, you know how a lot of people will try and hide their weaknesses and their faults, and it's like if they mess up they try and hide it away. I feel like you guys are the type to like, you're very aware of it. I feel like you don't even hide it from yourself. You're very aware. You know where you go wrong. You know where, you know, things might not turn out like in the best way. You're just very aware of like your faults, or even might even annoy somebody else. Like you're aware of it. So when people try to like maybe even try and use that against you, I feel like you're able to kind of like you're able to use it to your advantage. I feel like you're able to, I'm here and what I know I do this, but guess what, I can use it in this way. Like if someone was to say, oh, you're too passionate, I feel like you guys would be like, yeah, I know, it's really great because like I have these really big goals and I use it to achieve my goals, you know what I mean? Or if somebody was like, oh, you're, you know, you just you know, I'm trying to think of like a way of like how it would like make sense. If someone was to say like, oh, like you feel this and then you feel that, and then it's like it like rubs off on somebody else. Like 1 minute you're frustrated, 1 minute you're sad, and it's like, yeah, I know, when I feel a way, I embody it and then I just let it out instead of just letting it simmer and then just being passive aggressive like yourself. Like I'm not doing that. I'm just letting it come out. Like I feel like you guys are very good at like using whatever people may try and poke you with to your advantage, because I feel like you guys are the type that know yourself. I feel like you guys know your shadow self. You guys are the type that have studied yourself, and to other people they may even think sometimes like, oh, that person, like, you know, they're just when we think of a cat, right, and a cat just sees something and they run after it, and it's like, oh, they're just doing that spur of the moment. What people don't realize is how much more calculated it is, and how much deeper it is than that. There's a meaning and a method towards why you're running towards that, why you're speaking up for yourself like that, why you're saying these things, why you're getting that out there. There's a reason to it. And I think that's what draws people in, because I think a lot of people in society, they're told, don't tell people how you're feeling, hide that down, spare the feelings, and then they start being passive aggressive, or they start holding grudges, right? Or, you know, people are told not to express certain feelings or play small, because then it will make other people feel better. And I feel like people then fold themselves in like an origami. Like, people will just literally curl themselves into a ball and not showcase their greatest potential, whereas you guys do that. You guys have really gone into your shadow and, you know, removed any projections or whatever it is that people would try and use against you. So I feel like people then are inspired and drawn, you know, to you, and feel really magnetized to you, because I feel like it's like, oh, I wish I could speak up for myself like that. I wish I could, like, you know, if I was feeling that way, I wish I could just let it out. Or if I wish I felt safe to express those emotions or say those things. Or I wish I had the courage to go after that, you know, dream career or that dream job. I wish I could do that. And I feel like people get really inspired by you. I feel like you're really magnetizing like that, because it's like, wow, like that person's just like in their own league sort of thing. Like, that's how you feel. I feel like you're in your own league. I feel like you guys just do, like, you wait for no one. It's like, I'm thinking of Doja Cat when she's like, I think it was Paint the Town Red, where she's like, I don't need a big feature or a new sidekick. And I feel like that's you guys, because when you look at Doja Cat in her top music on Apple Music, like, she is very rarely like with a feature. I think there's just that one song with SZA, and then most of them are just her by herself. And I feel like that's you guys. I feel like you don't need to wait for anyone, and I feel like you guys just do your own thing, and people are really magnetized by that and drawn to that, because it's just like, wow, they really know themselves, they really understand themselves. I feel like you guys may have like a certain style that suits you, whereas like, wow, they really know their body, or like, wow, they really know their makeup type, they really know their hairstyle. And even just like in ways where other people may shun themselves, like in their sensuality. I have to be careful with what word and I use that, but with their sensuality, or with, you know, whatever, I feel like you guys know how to embody it and just ooze, you know, just authenticity with that when you're embodying a certain emotion or frequency. Like, if you're angry, or you're, you know, standing up for yourself, you're gonna, you know, let people know, no, I don't like this. But you do it in a way where it's like, you know yourself, and it's like controlled. Like, you're not going off on everyone and making people uncomfortable. Is like, no, this is how I feel. Like, it's in a very like, I know wrong and right, or I know what I like, and this is how I'm gonna have this done sort of thing. And I think people are really drawn to that. You just give, like, I wouldn't say like you give like a firecracker, it's more so like like, you know, when people make statues for people that went and did, like, they went and did something that was just very innovative and out there, like, this person had the courage to go and do this, or this person had the courage to go and do that, or this person, like, I don't know why I'm thinking of Amelia Earhart, and she was like the first pilot to fly across Atlantic or something like that. I may be wrong about Atlantic, I don't know, but I feel like you guys have give off that vibes. It's like, wow, that person just, they're out there. Like, if you guys were to be in like the music industry, for example, I feel like you guys would be the type to like really push the boat a little bit and do something a little bit daring, or just, you know, say whatever, like go into like a rant on stage, and not like a rant, but just like, I'm gonna say what I want to say, you can't control what I'm gonna say. Like, I see somebody like handing you like a speech to say, and you're like going rogue, like, no, I'm gonna say how I feel actually instead. That's what I'm being shown. I'm picking up a lot of like Aries, Sagittarius. I'm gonna throw Leo in there as well, but I'm also picking up like Gemini and Virgo, because I'm thinking of like Mercury sign, like mercurial signs. So Virgo and Gemini, I'm gonna stick out there as well. But I think what people don't realize is it could look like a firecracker type of energy from the outside, but there's a depth to it, there's a meaning and a method to the madness. Like, you understand yourself really deeply. I feel like, you know, like, you know your energy, you know what you stand for, there's a meaning to it, there's a depth to it. And I feel like when people see you making moves, or see you being courageous, or see you standing up for yourselves, or saying that thing that other people might decide not to, there's a meaning, you know, to it. It's like, no, this is how I feel, I'm going to express that, it's going to come out. I feel like there's a depth to it. yeah, and I just feel like you guys as well, because when I tap into that Leo energy, I just think that you guys are pretty creative too. But I just feel like visually creative. Like I feel like to look at you, if you guys wear makeup, I feel like your makeup would be really creative, or clothes wise, I feel like, you know, your fashion sense may be really creative, because I feel like to look at you, there's something really bold, or you just may wear daring outfits, or there's something like that. It could just be your aura, so it could be whatever you wear, however you style your hair, however you do your makeup, people are drawn to it because of your aura. But then others of you, I feel like it is literally how you know, what you wear, and things you show up in, jewelry and things like that. Some of you guys, I'm being told as well, may have like a perfume that really stands out and lingers. It's making me think of like the Mugler perfumes, like Angel and Alien. They're really like long lasting and they linger. I'm thinking of like Lancome perfumes, like La Vie Aswell, and them, they tend to linger as well. What's it called, a Baracat Rouge or something, I can't remember the name of it properly. Like I feel like that's lingering. And I'm thinking of Dior Sauvage as well for men. That's another one that I know lingers. So I just feel like you guys may have like a pungent, like really strong, zesty or like fruity scent, or like a musky smell that it's like, it lingers. It's like, wow, that person's like bold and a firecracker, like, you know, when they're here, you know what I mean? You guys are like the cat. I'm saying like different types of cats that you all are, and I feel like you guys are like that cat where you go over to someone's home and they're just like doing the most, but that's just because it's them, not because they're trying to do the most, but it's just like that's the personality. Like, yeah, I'm swinging off the lampshade, I wanted to swing off the lampshade, like, you know what I mean? I'm laying across, you know, the table while you're all playing like poker or something, because this is where I want to lay. Like, I'm just doing my own thing, you can't make me do anything else. Like, this is just what I wanted to do. So I feel like you give off that vibe as a cat, to be honest with you. Like you're the cat that's like, I've arrived. You remind me of my cat Luna. You know when she's in the room, because she makes a lot of noise, and you know, even when she's not meowing, it's just, you know, she's there. She's jumping up on things, terrorizing the other cats. Like, she's just, you know, she's there. You give off that vibe. Not that you go terrorizing people, just I just feel like it's your energy. It's just really bright and fiery, and even when you say nothing at all, you could be like the quietest people. You could be like, oh, I don't really speak. You could be the quietest people, but I just feel like it's your energy. It's bold, courageous. You may be very Martian as well. Scorpio, Aries. I know I said Aries, but we'll add Scorpio in there because it's like a Martian vibe. Yeah, so we have Frisia, the goddess of discernment. I spend my time wisely. I only say yes when it's a holy hell yes. Yeah, I feel like you guys may be a bit black and white, because I feel like the grey areas inside. Like, I feel like if you're going to say something, I feel like you are the type to check yourself. And I think that's why you stand on business when you say things, because I think behind closed doors, if you're going to say something, or if you're going to come to an opinion, you're not just saying it ignorantly. This is what I mean by the depth. You check yourself. Am I just thinking this because of this? Am I just saying this because of this? What if I'm triggered? I feel like you check yourself until you get an absolute, like, actually, no, this is how I feel. And then you move accordingly, you know? Because with that, I only say yes when it's a holy hell yes. It's like, I feel like you can be very black and white, but it's because that grey area is dealt with behind closed doors. So people may think like, you know, they could ask you to do something and you just sharply like, no. And they're like, why won't you do this, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, I decided this morning that I only have energy to do this, this, and this. I'm not extending my energy today. And I don't even owe you the explanation. I just don't want to do this today. My energy isn't there. Like, that's it. But then other people could look at it like it's black and white, and you just looking at it as like a no. But you came to the conclusion already. Like, you know yourself and your energy, you know, beforehand. And then you have Queen of the Outsiders, Sarah Likali. I have arrived. I am where I will always be, in love. I think you're just a very genuine person. I think you're a very genuine person, and I think people are drawn to you as well and trust you, because I think that you stick up for what's right, and I think that you can't be anything but authentic. I think that's you. You can't be anything but authentic, so people are just drawn to that. And I think that even if people might not agree sometimes with like things that you say, it's like, I still trust you. You know what I mean? Like, people have their own opinions and they don't like to see the other side sometimes. So sometimes people might be like, oh, I don't know. But it's like, I still trust you though, because I trust that you'll tell me the truth. I trust that you'll, you know, be honest. I trust that you are just going to show up as, you know, who you are. I don't feel like you're hiding anything. That's how people feel about you. So I feel really drawn to you then. There's a lot of depth to you that I think people that get close to you then are able to see. I think people see the fire right away, and then that depth, they have to really embrace the fire to really see the depth and come into your into that depth, you know. Yeah, so that's what I have for you, pile 3. I really hope that you enjoyed. Like I said, for the other piles, I've been a bit, I feel like I'm being a bit choppy today, just because of last week. So I hope everything came out the way I intended it to. But thank you guys for watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. Hey pile 4, welcome to your reading. So we are taking a look at your feline magnetism that draws people in. So you guys chose the Hello Kitty clip. I'm going to start with tarot, and then we will take a look at your oracle cards. So pile number 4, please spirit guides, tap me into the collective of my pile number 4's. Pile number 4's feline magnetism that draws people in. Pile number 4's feline magnetism that draws people in. We have 2 cards that have flipped. We've got the 6 of Wands, and we have Temperance. Pile number 4's feline magnetism that draws people in. Apologies if it's a little dark. We're in candlelight right now, because it's a little bit later on in the day. We have the 5 of Cups, pile number 4, and we have the 7 of Wands. Okay, the back of the deck, you have the 3 of Swords, which I'm going to pop it here. Okay, so we have the 6 of Wands, Temperance, the 5 of Cups, and the 7 of Wands. Okay. All right, okay, so for you guys, I feel like you guys are the type that have had to really, you've either had to really work hard in life, or you've been through a lot, is what I'm trying to say. Like, as well as working hard, you may have had a lot of, like, maybe trauma to work through and things that you've had to clear, because I just see you as somebody that, like, I feel all-knowing, first of all. Like, I feel like I have a lot of wisdom, because I feel like a lot of people are drawn to what you have to say, or the way that you look at things, because when we go through a lot of different experiences, and we're able to see things from a much higher perspective, you know, when we go on a spiritual journey, we're able to see things from a higher perspective, that aspect, and vice versa. So I feel like you guys are the type that have had many eras, and I think people are aware of this. Like, I feel like you've been in your villain era, you've been in your knockdown era, you've been in your happy era, you've been in your lover girl era, like, you know, lover boy era. Like, you've been in different eras where I feel like you've just learned a lot about yourself, and I think that people are really drawn to you, because I think that you could just, one, possess a lot of wisdom. It's making me think of Grandmother Willow when Pocahontas goes to her for, like, advice and things. Like, that's kind of like what I'm being shown, first of all. But I feel like there's such a softness to you and a gentleness to you, where you've been through a lot of chaos, but you've really calmed your own storm. Because I feel like I'm being shown something that's very delicate or pure. It's making me think of a heart that's, like, opened, like, you know, really opened, but it's come through a lot of chaos. It's making me think of Nicki Minaj's song Ganja Burn, where she sings, I can wage wars or come in peace like Gandhi. Like, that's what I'm thinking of. Like, I feel like you guys have weathered your own storms, and there's, you know, they've been a bit harsh, and I feel like you've really come back to base. So because of that, I just feel like, how do I put this? You're my pile that I probably mentioned, like, you're like Dumbledore Gandalf. Like, you're that pile where I feel like you give off Alice in Wonderland. Like, I don't know if you're the type that will go off maybe traveling, or you'll go off on a retreat, or you'll go off just into your own world. You don't have to head anywhere. It could be energetically you're going into your own kind of like Wonderland. And I feel like people are really drawn to that, because there's that mystical vibe to you, where I feel people are, like, magnetized. So it's like, what do you do? What do you get up to? But I also feel like I want to know how you came to that conclusion. I want to know how you have found that level of peace. So I want to know how you've come to that, you know, how you're so logical, or how you're so spiritual, or how you know, are so scientific, like, you know, how are you so intelligent? Where did you get that from? Because I feel like, for some reason, for you guys, I feel like I'm aware of your many hats. Like, I'm aware of the doorways you've walked through. I remember you in your you know, love a boy, love a girl stage, and now you're very, you know, independent and just, you know, doing your own thing, and like, you know, just flying about, or just living life off your own accord. Or I remember you when you were really down and out, but now you're really successful, and I keep feeling like there's a big question mark in regards to how. Like, I feel like I kind of like want to watch you. It's making me think of, like, you know, when you're like a kid, and I don't know, I used to do this where like I thought my like toys and stuff would like come to life. So, you know, you try and catch them, like you look away and you just like, I saw that movement. Like, that's kind of what I feel like I'm doing with you guys. Like, I'm just like, where do you go? What do you do? And how did you reach that? Like, how did you come to that conclusion? Like, I saw you Monday and you were really confused about this, and that really stumped me. But now I'm seeing you on Friday and it's like it's all settled because you found a conclusion. How did you do that? Where's this wisdom coming from? How are you seeing things through that perspective? You know, even when people maybe bring you like advice or guidance, it's like, where did you get that from? How did you reach that, you know, way of looking at it? Like, how did you see so deeply, or how did you see from such a higher perspective? I don't understand. And I feel like that is something that really draws people in, because I just feel like you give off, like, it really is giving off like elder vibes. Like, you come across like an elder, and I feel really magnetized and drawn to that. It's making me think as well of like in Avatar, when Naturi's like mother and father, the father was the chief, but the mother was I've forgotten what it's called now, but she was like a priestess sort of, you know, person. And I feel like that's you guys, whether it's priestess, whichever one resonates. But I feel like you guys kind of like give that off. Like, I feel like if you're in a relationship or something like that, I feel like you bring a lot of like wisdom to people. I feel like you're able to be like, oh, don't do that, like, you know what I mean, you know, Mercury's in retrograde, don't be doing this, or don't be doing that. Like, I feel like you pass on bits of information, or just like, we're in between eclipse season right now, this is why this is happening. Like, I feel like you give a lot of advice like that. A lot of you guys are probably my spiritual pile. And you made like channel a lot. Like, I'm getting that from you guys. But I feel like you guys have maybe that wounded healer vibe as well, because I feel like you've walked the walk before you talk the talk. I hope that makes sense. Because I feel like as well, this is where people are really drawn to you as well. I feel like throughout life, people might have projected and thought, I don't know how they're going to get up from that fall, or they grew up like this, so they're just going to end up like this, or this happened to them and that's just going to plague them for the rest of their life. But you've used things that have hit you to create abundance for you. You've gained wisdom from, you know, all of the cuts and bruises. You have found the silver lining in every stormy cloud, and you've used it to build something. You've used it as a tool. So because of that, people are drawn to you, because it's like, wizard, you know what I mean? You are a wizard. Like, that's kind of how I feel. That's why I was picking up the Albus Dumbledore vibes, because it's like, how did you do that? How did you manage to do that? Because now I'm going through it and I really don't know how you got through that. Or now I've fallen back and I don't know how you bounced back the way that you did. So that's where it is. Like, there's a magician vibe. Alchemy is basically what it is, if we're going to give it a name. You're an alchemist, but from an outside perspective, I'm looking at you like a magician. You know what I mean? It's like when cats bring stuff home, it's like, where on earth did you get that? Where did you find that? I don't know where you've been, but how did you get that? You know what I mean? Like, there's that sort of vibe of like, where do the cats go? Like, so I don't know if any of you guys have cats, but it's like some of my cats just turn up. Like, it's like, where did you come from? You literally weren't here, now you're sat next to me. Or like, my cats will go missing in the house and I'm like, where are you? Probably found a really cool hiding spot, but I'm like, what? Like, where are they? I don't know where you've been. Like, Luna will show up and she'll have like dust and things over her head, and I'm like, where have you been to get that on your head? Like, what little hole have you rammed yourself into? Like, where are you going? And then I'm checking the house to kind of block anything off. Like, I don't know, you give me that sort of vibe. It's like, where did you go? Where did that, you know, how did that happen? How did you achieve that? How did you bounce back? And if you guys do travel, it's like, oh my god, like, how do you do that? Like, there's that sort of vibe. And I think people are really drawn to you, because I think out of all the piles, there was pile 2 that was quite mystical, and like there was a level of privacy, but for you it's more than privacy. It's like there's like a Neptunian, Piscean aspect to you. You could have Neptune on the ascendant, on your descendant, just on the angles in general. You could have a lot of Pisces placements, a lot of 12th house placements, but I just feel I'm being shown a sun and Neptune conjunct as well. That's what I'm being shown. But I just feel like there's a haze over you sometimes. It's like, why did you gain that? Or like, how did you do that? But I keep being shown specifically, it's just an image I'm being shown of somebody like, oh, look at all the knots. Like, I'm being shown somebody with a string, and it's like, look at all the knots in that string. They're never going to get that sorted. But then, like, they don't see you for 5 years. They look back, and it's like, not only did you get the knots out of the string, but you kind of like multiplied it. You know what I mean? It's like, how did you do that? Like, there's like a Houdini, like magician sort of like vibe. Because I'm hearing Houdini by Dua Lipa. Like, you could be someone as well who shows up and then they're gone. Like, you could be like that mysterious person at a party that like shows up and then never goes again. Maybe you just don't like partying. Or people could hear a lot about you but don't see you. So your friends could speak about you to other people. You could like never post on social media. You know, sometimes people have social media and it's like no posts yet. And they just have like the profile picture and that's all you have to go off of. You could be somebody like that. Yeah, there's just that sort of vibe to you guys. It's like there's definitely an air of mystery which draws people in. But you're definitely that cat that just comes out of nowhere with like a random toy and you're like, where did you get that from? Or they just come out with dust on their head and it's like, where have you been? You know, like, what is going on? But there's a softness to you for sure. Like, there's a really healing, nurturing softness. I think that if people were to speak to you, I feel like people would feel safe with you. I feel like I could go to you and I wouldn't be judged. And I could tell you anything. And because I feel like you'd see all anyway. You wouldn't judge me. That's kind of how I feel. That's the vibe you give off. There's like a home feeling, but then there's an alien feeling at the exact same time. It's quite interesting. You're definitely connected to spirit. The crown chakra feels very heavily open for you guys. I think that home feeling, but then the confusion for people may be, I can feel the God source through you. I can feel spirit through you. I can feel the universe through you, whichever one you want to call it. I can feel it through you. So that's my natural home. But at the same time, my logical brain doesn't understand that. So then it's like, what are you? You know what I mean? But you also feel like home, but what are you? Like, there's that vibe with you. Pile number, some of you guys may have a lot of crystals because I just got shown somebody with like an altar and loads of crystals. Some of you guys may have that. Pile number 4. Pile 4, please, spirit guides. Pile number 4 is Feline Magnetism. We have Frisia, the goddess of discernment. I spend my time wisely. I only say yes when it's a holy hell yes. Quickly, before I put that down, I'm thinking of Coraline, the cat that goes between the worlds. You remind me of the cat from Coraline, if you ever wanted to know what type of cat you are. Like, in one of the worlds, the cat's obviously silent because they don't speak physically, verbally, but it just shows up out of nowhere. It's like, how did you get here? Do you see what I'm saying? How did you get here? But then when it goes into the other mother world, starts to speak and, you know, it sees all, it knows all, and it's kind of guiding her. And then it's the same question. How did you get here? You give off Coraline cat vibes. You are the cat from Coraline. But yeah, Frisia, I spend my time wisely. I only say yes when it's a holy hell yes. I just feel like you guys, I mean, you could work a lot. You could be on a mission. You could be recharging your energy a lot. You could be somebody that just isn't out physically a lot for people to see. But I just feel like you're, you give me the vibes of like, I've said this before in a reading with the Dumbledore vibes where it's like Nanny McPhee, where it's like, I come, I'm sure she says something like, when you need me but do not want me, I'm here. But like, when you want me but don't need me anymore, then I'm not here, sort of thing. There's like that sort of vibe. I don't know. It's like I show up to do the job and I leave. And like, that's the type of thing that I'm being shown. Yeah, so that is what I have for you, Pile 4. I really hope that you enjoyed your reading. Hit the thumbs up and comment down below if you did. I'm sending you guys all of my love. I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching. And hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching.